So welcome everyone. I hope you're doing amazing. Today we have a webinar all about maximizing patient engagement and practice growth. We are really excited for you to hear more about the RepuGen integration, and we of course have Claire Nichols on today, who is the co-founder and product director of Kalix, and our special guest is Lauren Parr, who is from RepuGen and the co-founder and product director. So thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us today. We're really excited to have you with us and go through this presentation. Now, do you want to move the slide a little bit?
Yep, definitely.
Okay, so just a little bit about the agenda for today. We'll have, of course, the introduction, what is an online review. Then Lauren is going to go through a demo. We will have a little bit more about the integration, of course, so you can see it. Pricing, and stay on to the end because there is a special offer, and then we will just take about 10 minutes to go through Q&A. So if you have any questions, just pop them down in the chat and we'll get through them. Either Lauren or one of us will answer it for you, or Claire. And yeah, so I think we're pretty good to get started. So let's move to slide 3. Okay, thank you. Amazing. So as you know, RepuGen is really an all-inclusive healthcare reputation management program that promises to take care of your practice to the next level. And it improves your practice's online visibility through different services such as automated client satisfaction surveys, client testimonials, online review tracking, negative review protection, which is so important, and healthcare listing management. So it's something that is really amazing for your business and can help it take it to the next level. So I'm really excited to introduce Lauren, who's going to go through some slides, who, as I said before, is the co-founder of RepuGen and is going to provide the overview. So go for it, Lauren. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction, Nicole. I'm really excited to be here today and share with you all more information about RepuGen. So as Nicole mentioned, we over here at RepuGen are a reputation management solution specifically tailored to the healthcare space. We have an awesome partnership and integration with Kalix that I'm really excited to kind of show you what you're able to leverage and really unleash the power of growing your practice with great online reviews and improved patient engagement and patient satisfaction. So to kind of jump into what is an online review and why does it matter, online reviews are those online pieces of feedback that patients are leaving on sites like, Google Business Profile, Yelp, Healthgrades, RateMDs. And the reason why it's so important to ensure that your online reviews are really an accurate reflection of how satisfied, your patients are is because 73% of patients are checking online reviews when selecting a new healthcare provider. So that's about 3 out of 4 patients are going out of their way to check online reviews. And 83% of those patients will not visit a healthcare provider, will not, take on a new dietitian if those healthcare providers do not have at least a 4-star rating. And there's a lot more factors that go into it. You want to make sure you're getting recent reviews, and majority of those reviews are positive and have comments. But long story short, online reviews are really important for patient acquisition and retaining patients with your practice. So to kind of go over some of the features that are included in our wonderful partnership with Kalix, we first have what we call our core plan, or all of the features that are included in the reputation management aspect. I'll be showing you a live demo of exactly how these features work during our webinar today. But essentially, these features really allow you to acquire more positive reviews, help you to protect you from negative reviews. You're able to view trend reports so you can get an understanding of how your online reviews are, performing and how they're improving with the help of RepuGen. You're also able to get instant notifications when you do get new online reviews and any internal feedback from RepuGen surveys. And you're also able to really manage all of your reviews in one place. So With our integration with Kalix, you can just easily route yourself to the reputation management dashboard, where you can see all of your online reviews from various different review sites in one place, so you don't have to scour the internet to view them. We also have the ability for you to achieve a balanced reputation across all of the different review sites that patients are regularly checking. So this is really to ensure that you're, not only improving your reviews on Google, for example, but you're improving them on, Health Grades and RateMDs and Vitals and all the different review sites that patients are checking, to ensure that you have that accurate representation of your, great patient care across all of those different review sites. And we also finally, in our reputation management base core plan, have what we call the ReplyWise feature. So this specific feature helps you to leverage artificial intelligence and really helps you to propose HIPAA compliant responses to reviews. And I'll show you that feature in today's webinar, but this is an overview of the core features. And we also, with our partnership with Kalix, have a marketing solutions add-on. So this is really some patient engagement and marketing features that, again, I'll be going through. But just to share a quick overview with you, we have the ability for you to show your positive online reviews and internal feedback that you get with RepuGen in the form of a testimonials webpage and also a testimonials widget that you can post onto your website. Have the ability for you to view what we call NPS reporting or Net Promoter Score reporting. And this is really to help you to identify which patients are your promoters, and that can really help with your marketing strategies. We have the ability for you to share those positive reviews as meaningful content onto your different social media profiles. Like maybe you want to share your positive reviews on Facebook or X, formerly known as Twitter. You can easily do that with that feature. Also have the ability for you to send out broadcast messages via text and email to your patient base. So maybe you have a promotion going on and you want to send out an email or text campaign. You can do that with the use of this broadcast messaging tool. In addition to that, we have what we call our patient referrals feature. So this really helps you to automate that word of mouth referral process. So when you have a patient that's really, happy with your services, you can automate a patient referral follow-up to go out to them to basically ask them to refer their friends and family to you for your services. And a couple more features before we get to the last one. We've got our listing consistency report. This enables you to really ensure that your listings or those different review sites and profiles where your practice is listed online are consistent, and that really helps with your search engine optimization. And then finally, we have our multi-question surveys feature. So this is something that helps you to send out more in-depth custom surveys to your patients. Maybe you want to learn more about their experience, their patient satisfaction. You can craft and send custom surveys in that manner. So that's a quick overview of the features that are included in our partnership. I want to jump through and start to actually kind of get more hands-on and show you exactly how these features work. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and jump over here to what we call our after visit survey. So this after visit survey is basically the main way that RepuGen is helping you to drive positive reviews and protect you from negative reviews. So on my screen here, we're looking at the email version of this after visit survey, but just so you know, it does also go out via text. The process by default is it first goes out via text. If the patient doesn't complete it, then it's sent out via email as a follow-up 1 day later. So that's really to ensure that we're making sure we're getting multiple checkpoints to get in front of these patients. But the idea is to send this to patients after they had a visit. And since we have a direct integration with Kalix, we'll automatically get your patient's contact information. And these surveys will automatically go out if you do decide to sign up with RepuGen through our partnership. But the idea here is really to gauge the patient's satisfaction with their visit. So here's just an example. You are able to customize this content and survey to your liking. But really, again, the idea is to gauge how satisfied the patient was with their visit. So let's say I'm a patient and I'm having a really great experience and I want to rate my provider positively. So it says, how likely would you be to recommend us to a family or friend? As that patient that had a great experience, let's say I want to rate positively, I'm going to rate a 10. And by default, just so you guys know, a positive rating is considered an 8, 9, or 10, but you do have the ability to customize what you really think those ratings should be. So let's say I leave my rating of 10. Exactly what happens is I'm led to a landing page where I can leave any feedback about why my experience was so great. So maybe the reason why I thought my experience was so great was because the doctor was great, right? So once I go ahead and leave this feedback, there's an option for me to check this box so that my feedback can be published publicly. When I check this box, this is essentially allowing your practice to use this patient's feedback as a testimonial where you can post it on your website or within your marketing materials, for example. And then once I go ahead and click submit, what happens is I'm being asked to paste that feedback on any of the review sites where your practice needs the most help. This is really where our review balancer feature comes in, where we're automatically sending patients to the review sites that have the lowest scores or the lowest number of reviews, and we're driving them to leave reviews on those sites. So again, you can get a balanced reputation and achieve more positive reviews on the sites that need them the most. So of these different options here, let's go ahead and say that, as a patient, I want to leave my review on Google. So all I did was I went ahead and I clicked leave review on Google. What happens is I'm led to this area directly on Google where I can leave my positive review for the doctor that I saw. And I can even paste my previous feedback that I had on the below page, so I don't have to write it out again. I can leave my 5 stars, and then I click post. So this is essentially driving those patients that had a positive experience with you to leave that positive review on your public profiles, such as Google and Facebook and Healthgrades, etc. So really, this is the main way that we're helping you to drive reviews from patients that had a positive experience. And I know you guys are probably asking, well, what happens if a patient didn't have a positive experience, right? So on the other side, on the flip side of a coin, let's say that a patient didn't have such a great experience and they rate anywhere from a 0 through 7 by default. Again, you can change these depending on your liking, but by default, if they rate anywhere from 0 through 7, I'll go ahead and select a 1 for our demo purposes today. But essentially what happens is, again, after the patient rated, they're being driven to another landing page here, but you can see that the verbiage on the landing page actually is changing slightly, where it says, we would appreciate any feedback on how we can improve. The feedback that the patient leaves in this feedback box, this is only internal. So this is really giving that patient the opportunity to vent the frustrations that they do have, and the frustrations and the feedback that they leave here will be sent directly to your practice. So you guys can really, do with it as you please if you want to perform service recovery, and really allowing to, retain and recover those patients internally. But I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go ahead and say that the reason that the patient's experience wasn't great is because the wait time was too long. Once I go ahead and submit this feedback as a patient, what happens is I'm being thanked for my feedback. Again, the content here is completely customizable, so you can really tailor it so that you're saying exactly the message that you want. But by default, it says something like, we regret that you had this experience with us. We're always striving to improve. Your feedback has been submitted and will be addressed. So at this point, the patients are not being driven or being asked to go and leave this feedback on any of your public profiles. And that's really helping to protect you from getting those negative reviews. And again, giving that outlet for the patients to have the opportunity to vent those frustrations internally, so they don't feel the need to go to your Google profile or your Healthgrades profile to leave that feedback, that negative feedback on your online review sites. So again, the idea here is really to help you drive patients that had the positive experiences to leave a review, and give patients that didn't have such a great experience that internal outlet. And the reason why we really built this process like this is because we know that, when patients are going through a healthcare experience, they're most likely to leave a review for you and go out of their way to leave a review for you if they had a negative experience, which is pretty surprising. However, if patients are being asked to leave a review, patients that had a positive experience are much more likely to go out of their way and leave that review. So what happens is if you're not prompting patients to leave a review, happy patients are kind of going on with their life and not really thinking about the opportunity to leave a review. And those patients that had the negative experience really want to vent those frustrations, and they're the ones that are going out of their way to leave a review. And what happens is your online reviews are not an accurate reflection of the great patient care that you're providing. So what RepuGen is doing is it's really helping to drive those positive reviews to ensure that your reputation really accurately reflects, the positive experiences from those patients that wouldn't have gone out of their way to leave a review for you. So went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I want to show you exactly what happens when a patient does leave that internal negative feedback. So if they rate, negatively on this survey, you will automatically get an email notification with their actual rating and their comment. So this is what the email notification looks like. So once a patient rates negatively on that survey, you'll automatically get an email that looks like this. So you can see you've received a negative rating. We recommend you reaching out. And then it says, click here to learn more about their comment. So if I click here, what happens is I'm led to more information about this patient that left the negative response to the survey. So I can see their name, their email, you'd be able to see their phone number, the actual comment that they left, long wait time, right? So this is where you really have the opportunity to use this information to pick up the phone and call the patient to try and rectify their experience and address their concerns. And once you do that, you have the ability to track your outreach process here. So let's say I called Lauren, for example, and I was able to address her experience. I let her know that, it's just one of those days where we were a little backed up and we apologize and it's something we're working on. And let's say I was able to rectify the experience with her. I can go ahead and leave a note about this, rectified issue. I can mark this as completed and I can click submit. So really you have a way to ensure that you're not only addressing these patients' concerns, but you're tracking each and every patient that had a negative experience. So you can have really the receipts of knowing that all of their experiences are being addressed. So again, that is the main process that we're using here at RepuGen to help you drive positive reviews and protect from negatives and allow you to address those patients that had negative experiences and perform service recovery. I want to jump into the RepuGen dashboard where we'll be able to see kind of how you're able to track all of this and see really how your reputation is growing with the use of this reputation management solution. So I just went ahead and clicked in. I'm in a demo instance here. So once you do, sign up with RepuGen and you navigate to our dashboard, you'll be able to see a performance snapshot that looks something like this. And essentially right off the bat, you'll be able to see what we call your Repu score. That is that average rating on the after visit 0 through 10 survey. Just as a side note, if you want to send that survey on a 1 through 5 scale, you can absolutely do that as well. But just so you know, it's customizable. This particular client is using it on a 0 through 10 scale. So you can see their average rating out of 10 is a 9.7. You can see how many patient responses were left. The next stat here is your survey conversion rate, or the average percentage of patients that are responding back to that survey. And you can also see your total online reviews and also any of those negative responses that came in from the survey. One thing I do want to call out about the dashboard, you're able to drill down depending on the data that you want to take a look at. So let's say you have multiple locations. There will be a location toggle up here, or if you have multiple providers, you can click on that toggle to see the drop down. And you can also drill down by the different time ranges that you want to take a look at. So by default, it's just looking at the last 3 months, and I'll update it so it's showing for all locations. But let's say I wanted to go ahead and see all of my online reviews in one place. I just clicked on that check reviews button. I can also view this screen by clicking on reviews right over here on the left-hand column. But essentially what happens is I'll be shown a consolidated list of all of my reviews for all of my locations in one place. So again, this is really helpful because it allows you to not have to go and check WebMD and check Google and check health grades, and the list goes on and on. You can see them all in one place. And with the marketing solutions add-on, you're also able to reply directly to reviews. So if I click on reply, you'll see the work of our ReplyWise AI feature working some magic here, where you can see it automatically came up with a proposed response to this particular review. So basically it's using AI to actually be contextually aware of what the patient wrote on their review and come up with a proposed reply. And this AI is actually trained to ensure that it's remaining HIPAA compliant and not releasing any protected health information in its response. But what you're able to do is you can edit this response as you see fit, and you can actually submit it to be posted as a response on Google. So we do have a direct integration with Google where you're able to reply to reviews directly from the RepuGen dashboard. If you do want to respond to a review on any different review site, it'll do the same thing where it will come up with a proposed reply. You can edit it as you see fit. And then all you have to do is just click copy to clipboard. And essentially what that will allow you to do is it will allow you to navigate to WebMD, for example, where you can see the review and then just click paste and post that response for that particular review. But that's really one of the great ways where you're able to leverage RepuGen is responding to reviews, because when patients are leaving reviews, studies show that a majority of them do expect a response from their healthcare provider, and really anywhere where they're leaving a review, not even just their healthcare provider. So this is a really great feature to help you with that. If you do wish to respond to the review without the help of our friend AI, you can absolutely do that too. You can just click create your own response here, and you can start from scratch and create that proposed or that response that you'd like to post. In addition to the review responses, this is also where you're able to leverage our share review to social media button. So if I click on share review here, essentially what will pop up is it will give me the option to share my review on Facebook and share my review on Twitter, or now known as X. But if you were to click on either one of these, what it will do is it will drive you to log into your Facebook or your Twitter page. Once you log in, then it will already start composing a post for you with that positive review that you can share as meaningful content. So in addition to our reviews page, I also want to show you guys those negative responses where you're able to view all of those patients that had the negative ratings on that internal survey. So once I go ahead and click the negative responses tab, I'm able to see an overview. And again, this is depending on the time range that you select and the locations and providers. But by default, I'm able to see an overview of all of the patients that had a negative experience in the last 3 months. So you can see here there were 18 total patients that had negative responses or negative ratings on that after visit survey. And you can also see where they are in the outreach status. So that after visit email that I showed you, where you're able to mark, whether their experience was complete and leave notes, you can actually track all of this from this report here. So you can see how many patients were completed, or they were, their negative experiences were addressed. How many of them still need attention or need to be reached out to after they had their negative experience. How many of them are in progress? Maybe they're, being worked on, or practice managers might have called and left them a voicemail. And how many of them have been closed out, or, you attempted to reach them but weren't able to after multiple attempts. You can also see how long it's taking on average for your team to actually address these patients that had negative experiences. And you're able to see a full report of the patients that had their negative experiences. You'll see some of it's blurred out here just to protect their information, since this is a demo instance, but it is with real data. So you would be able to see the patient's name, their contact information, their actual comment that they left, and any of the comments that your team is leaving once you're addressing and following up with those patients, along with the outreach status that you've marked, which corresponds with the stats up here.
Lauren, can I just ask a quick question? It came up and I thought it was better just to ask now. What's the difference between closed and complete?
Yeah, great question. So basically, complete means that you were able to successfully complete an interaction with this patient after they had a negative experience. So like the example that I showed earlier, where let's say, you know, myself, Lauren, had that negative experience and I was able to call and rectify her experience, I would mark her as complete. Now, let's say, for example, I called Lauren and I wasn't able to get in touch with her. I left a voicemail. I called again a few days later. And let's say internally at my practice, I deem that once I try to call 2 times, if I don't hear a response back, then I'm going to go ahead and mark it as closed. So basically that means I attempted to reach the patient that had a negative experience, but I was unsuccessful in doing so. And I reached the point where, you know, we closed out that patient to say that we didn't have the ability to reach them. Does that answer your question, Claire?
Yes, it definitely does.
Awesome.
Okay, so there's a question about emails that go out soliciting feedback. Do those go to all clients after the visit? And can this frequency be customized?
Yeah, great question. So really it depends on how the integration will be set up. So I think by default, what we do with most of our clients is we'll automatically send out the surveys to patients who are marked as complete, who actually had a completed appointment. And they automatically go out to patients depending on the frequency that you would like to select. So let's say, for example, you want your patient surveys to go out daily. What you would be able to do is you could actually set up your scheduler settings. And I just came to the settings gadget here, and I came down to the scheduler in the miscellaneous section. And what you're able to do is you're able to decide when you want these surveys to go out to patients. So you can select what days of the week you want to be available for these surveys to go out. And you can determine what time you want the surveys to go out. So let's say, for example, you know, we're having an integration with Kalix, we're automatically getting all of those patients that were marked as complete or that were seen for their appointment for Monday. If I were to have my scheduler settings for 5 p.m., that means all of the patients that were seen on Monday before 5 p.m. would automatically have their survey sent out at 5 p.m. And that would be the first text survey. You can see down here, you're also able to enable how many touch points you want to go out. So the text survey is enabled. I have a follow-up email survey that's enabled. And this was the one that goes out 24 hours after there's no response to the text. But you can also determine if you want to set up follow-ups as well. So we have the option for follow-up email surveys, a review reminder email, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of options for you to turn on additional follow-ups. But long story short, we're able to automatically get those patients that had their appointment completed, and you can determine what time and what days those surveys go out within these scheduler settings.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Alrighty, and I do want to jump back into the reputation management features here. So far we've gone over the online reviews and the negative responses. I also want to show you some of the reports that we have with RepuGen. My favorite report, really, because you're able to see how your reputation is growing since you started using RepuGen, is our before and after reputation report. So essentially what this report does is it shows you where you started and where you are with your current status with RepuGen. So for example, you can see how your total online reviews have been growing. You can see how your average star rating has been growing. You can see this client started with 185 reviews and now have just about 6,500. They went from a 3.9 star rating up to a 4.8 star rating. And you're also able to see how these factors are affecting each and every one of the review sites that you're soliciting reviews for. So you can see the breakdown of number of reviews by all these different review sites, and also how the star rating has improved on all of the review sites as well. And finally, we also have a cumulative trend report where by month, you're able to see how your number of reviews and how your star rating is growing over time with RepuGen. So this is just an example of one report where you can really see the before and after of RepuGen. We have additional reports and custom reports that you can set up and actually be automated to go out to you. But another cool one is just our online reputation breakdown, where again, you can see where your online reviews currently stand by review site and how they're trending over time. But that is just a couple examples of some of the reports that RepuGen has available to us. If you're interested in more reports, a really great tool is actually in our settings as well, where you can come down to the report section here, and you can actually view all of the different reports that we have available by manually downloading and viewing them. And then you can even set them up to be automated to yourself. And it looks like my demo account might have froze up on me. There we go. Where you can automate these different reports so that you receive them via email, however, at the interval, how you'd like. So maybe you want to see them monthly or quarterly or even weekly, daily. It's really up to you on how often you want to see the reports and which reports you're interested in. But it's really great for you to be able to kind of have those automatically coming in, so you don't have to log in and see those. Of course you can, but it makes it a little easier for you to automate them as well. All right, and then I want to jump in as well to some of the marketing and patient engagement features that we touched on in the partnership as well. So one of the ones that's really great is our testimonials features. So first I want to show you the testimonials webpage. So this is an example of the RepuGen hosted webpage. This is one of our clients, consulting cardiologists. They were actually the example that I showed you the survey for as well. But this is basically a web page that's hosted by RepuGen, but it actually shows up in the search results when patients are searching for consulting cardiologists. And I'll actually show you how that works. So let's say I want to search for consulting cardiologist. This is the name of the practice. And as the patient, I want to see their reviews. So if I press this on Google, I can see here's consulting cardiologist's webpage, their website. And right here in the search results, I'm able to see the RepuGen hosted testimonials page. So once I click on that, I'll see this page. But essentially what this is doing is it's compiling all of your positive reviews. So all of the reviews that are 4 and 5 stars are automatically being populated on this web page. So you can see here, if I click on reviews, I can see just one day ago, Richard left a 5-star review on Google. You can see the patient's actual comment. And I can scroll down and I can see all of these different reviews, as well as the attribution to where they were left. So for example, Johnny left his review on health grades. So this is really allowing you to have all of those positive reviews compiled in one place so that patients can get more social proof and see all of your positive reviews in one web page and really help them to make that decision to select you as their provider. And you'll see there's also an option for testimonials here as well. And these testimonials are actually those internal comments that patients are leaving in the survey. If you guys remember, there was a checkbox where it said, I give permission to allow this to be published publicly. This would be where those positive feedback pieces are being left. So you can see it says a testimonial left on RepuGen from 12 hours ago. A patient said professional and prompt service. So again, this is just compiling more of those positive internal or testimonials from that internal feedback onto this testimonial page. And again, would be showing up in those search results to help patients make that decision to choose you as their dietitian or healthcare provider, for example. And in addition to the testimonials webpage, you also have the power to show these testimonials, the positive testimonials, on your website. So that's actually included with our testimonial widget feature, is what we call it. So what I've done is I actually navigated us to one of our clients' homepages. This is their website. If I scroll down on their homepage, I will find the RepuGen testimonials widget. So essentially, this is an interactive tool where patients can click through the carousel. And again, they're able to see all of those positive testimonials and all of those positive reviews that are generated from the help of RepuGen. So you can see here, most of these reviews were left either on RepuGen or on Google, and they're from yesterday. So it automatically updates and automatically posts those recent new reviews. And that's another way where when patients are checking out your website, they can get more of that social proof and see these, positive reviews and testimonials from patients. Alrighty, and so that is our testimonials features. I also want to give you guys a peek at our Net Promoter Score report. So this is the report, if you remember when I mentioned earlier, this is what is called our NPS report or Net Promoter Score report. Essentially, a Net Promoter Score is really a marketing tool. It's that after visit 0 through 10 survey. And what it means is any patients that rate you a 9 or 10 are considered to be your promoters. So what you're able to do is you can actually drill down and get a look at all of the patients that are your promoters. So for this particular client, over the last 3 months, 93.6% of their patients rated a 9 or 10 on that after visit survey. And if I were to click here, I'd be able to see that full list of patients that are considered their promoters by this Net Promoter Score logic. And this is really helpful because you can download this list of patients. Maybe you want to send out a specific marketing campaign to them to give them a special offer because they've been, promoting your brand and they're happy with your services. On the flip side, you can also see the patients that are considered to be your passives. And when I say passives, that's anyone who rates a 7 or 8 on your 0 through 10 survey. Or you can also see the patients that are considered to be your detractors or the patients that rate negatively on that survey, anywhere from a 0 through 6. And again, this is something that can help you if you want to take a look at who these patients are. You're probably already performing that service recovery process we went over earlier with them. But you can also take a look at it and really get an understanding of what percentage of patients are those detractors versus passives and promoters, and kind of take a deeper look into what maybe improvements you could make with the practice from this particular report. You're also able to see a breakdown of how your Net Promoter Scores change over time. And you can also see the trends on a trend graph as well to get an understanding of your Net Promoter Score and the breakdown of promoters, passives, and detractors. Alrighty, in addition to Net Promoter Scores, I want to go ahead and show you the Broadcast Messenger. So if you guys remember, the Broadcast Messenger is the feature that allows you to send out text and email campaigns, and these are mass text and email campaigns to patients. So you'll have the ability to either send these out to what we call an existing record, and that just means the patients that were already loaded up into RepuGen from the integration from Kalix. So if you guys are signed up with us, what it means is you would be able to send out, text and email broadcast messages to patients that were already surveyed. And in order to do that, all you would do is click send to existing record, and then you could determine how far back you want to go. So maybe you want to send out a text thank you to patients that visited within the last 3 months. So you could select last 3 months, determine what locations you want to send it out for, what provider, and then you can come down here and actually create your custom text message or create your custom email blast to go out to them. You're able to either kind of write this from scratch, or if you have, a designer and you want to upload a more beautiful email or templated email, you can even use HTML source code here and paste any of that as well. If you work with a marketing team, I'm sure they'll be happy to use that feature for you. So you're able to send out these text and email blasts to patients from that, and you can also send it out to a new list of patients. So if you were interested in uploading or sending a text and email to all of your patients, and maybe not just the ones that were sent a survey so far with RepuGen, you can also upload a new list of patients by clicking send new list. And all you'd have to do is just kind of upload those patients in a CSV file, and then build out your text or email campaign in the exact same way. And then you could just go ahead and even send yourself a test before you send it to patients, and then you'd be able to schedule those out accordingly. So really just a cool tool for you to be able to kind of use your imagination and decide how you want to communicate with your patients via text and email. A lot of our clients use this for promotions or even just kind of keeping their patients updated. maybe they want to let them know that they are changing their hours and want to find out from patients, if that's appropriate or if those times work for them, they can send out communications from this mass tool. In addition to the broadcast messenger, I want to go over our patient referral process, which was mentioned as well. So again, this is really the process that enables you to get referrals from patients who had a positive experience with your services. So let's say, for example, a patient saw your practice and they rated a 10 on your survey. You can determine how you want to send these out or which patients you want them to go to. So let's say, for example, I want to send these referral requests to patients who rated a 9 and a 10 on the survey. I can go ahead and select send to patients who rated, click on 9 and 10, and then I can save this. And essentially what happens is those patients that rated a 9 or 10 will automatically receive a follow-up email, and you can customize what this email says. But essentially what it's doing is it's thanking them for leaving their positive, rating and asking them to refer their friends and family. And it gives them the ability to add their friends and family's email or phone number. And then you would automatically get those that patient that they referred, their contact information, so that you can go then and reach out to them to make them a part of your patient base as well. So it's really automating that word of mouth referral process. And you can even, leave certain incentives for patients where they could get a reward if they referred friends, or maybe a discount off your services. Those things are completely customizable and up to you on how you use. All right, we're getting down to our last couple features here. I want to go over our listing consistency feature. So this is the feature where it enables you to ensure that the information across all of your different listings profiles is accurate and consistent across those different profiles. So I'm coming to the listing consistency tab here. And what you're able to do is you can select which location or provider you want to take a look at. And when you launch this feature for this first time, it will essentially ask you to put in the correct information for the name of either the location or the provider, the address of that provider, the correct phone number. And then once you do that, when you put in the name, address, and phone number, this consistency report will generate for you, and it will show you if there's any inconsistencies with your listings. So for example, if I take a look at one of these providers, I'll show you how you can exactly put it in. So it'll say create your business listing report. This is where you have the ability to put in the address, phone number, and all of your listings information. And then once you do that, it will generate a report that looks like this, where you can see it'll show you the status. It looks like they're missing a listing on WebMD. So they can go and create their listing on WebMD, or there's a name, address, phone number issue where, for example, it looks like the phone number for this listing is different than the rest of them. So really it's helping you to ensure that this information is accurate across all of your listing sites. So when patients find you on Yellow Pages, they have the correct phone number to call your office, but also having correct name, address, and phone number information across all of your different listings. Not only is it important for patients to have that correct information to get a hold of you, but it's also a really big factor for your search engine rankings. So that means when you have consistent and correct information across your different listing sites, search engines like Google are more likely to rank you higher in the search results. So when patients are Googling, dietitian near me, the more accurate and updated your listings are, the more likely you'll show up in their search results and they'll find you to be able to use your services. Alrighty, and I want to go over our last but not least feature here. This is our multi-question survey feature. So this feature enables you, like I mentioned before, to create custom surveys to go out to patients that, in addition to the after visit review solicitation survey, maybe you want to send out more in-depth surveys or surveys to learn more about your patient satisfaction, or like we talked about earlier, maybe you could send them a survey to find out what would be the best hours for your practice, for example. So what you can do is you can actually come in here and create your custom survey. So I'll go ahead and select which provider or location I want to send this for. I'll name my survey, and then you can decide how you want to collect your responses. Maybe you want to send the survey one time manually. Maybe you want to schedule the survey according to, your own preferences, or maybe you just want to send it to a specific percentage of patients where, half of the patients are being asked to leave a review with that review solicitation survey, and the other half are being sent to a more long form survey. Whatever way you want to collect responses is completely up to you, but you can essentially select that way, and then you can go ahead and start creating and tailoring your survey according to your likings. So let's say I want to send my survey manually. I can go ahead and click on Create Survey, and then I'm led to this tool where I can go ahead and build my survey. So whether you want to create questions on a multiple choice basis, a rating scale, maybe a feedback box, or even the RepuGen 0 through 10 rating, you can do that as well. So you can select how you want to craft your questions, write out the specific questions you want to ask, and then create more questions. Once you're done actually creating your survey, it will be sent out depending on how you decided to collect your responses. And then you'll be able to view reporting on how those responses actually came in from patients. So again, it's really just a cool feature where you're able to kind of craft the surveys per your liking and receive responses from patients in order to learn more about your patient base and really get those questions to, or get those answers to the questions that you may have from patients. Alrighty, and that was our last but not least feature that I wanted to go over today. So with that, that is kind of a quick overview or a quick demo of all of the features that we do have included in our Kalix and RepuGen partnership. So I will pass it back over to Claire and Nicole so that we can take the next steps in the webinar today.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for that really detailed demo. I absolutely love this integration. Every time I see the demo, I get excited as it's so full of so many important and powerful features. So thank you so much. We do have a few questions. Jill needs to jump off, so we're going to quickly ask Jill's question. Is there customer support at RepuGen to help some of these features be set up if we are struggling and not completely tech savvy?
Yes, absolutely. So there is support. So with our partnership, if you do have questions, we're more than happy to help with those. So when you do sign up with RepuGen, you will have an assigned account manager who you'll be able to go through for specific questions. If you're not sure about who your account manager is at any point, we also have an email that you can always contact, and it's just info@repugen.com. So if you're not able to remember, or if you want to make sure that you're able to get in touch with us as quickly as possible, you can always use that email. And again, it's just info@repugen.com.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, to the next question. Will you explain how to set up review links? The Facebook review link is easy, but what about Google?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, let me go ahead and reshare my screen so I can show you. While I answer that question, I'll also use the visual aid too, which I think is a lot better. So when you're going about and setting up your review links, there's a section in the settings here. So you'll click on the settings gear, and then you're just going to want to come down to the rating/review process. And there's a tab called review links. So when you click on review links, essentially what will happen is you'll be able to set up which review sites you want to solicit those reviews for. So let's say I'm going to select a specific location, and I'll select my specific provider that I want to set up my review links for. So when I select on this provider, it will show me the URLs or the review links that I already have set up for each one. But let's say, for example, I wanted to set up my review link for Google. So what I would do is I would just, if this wasn't here already, I would click on Add Review Site. And then when you click on Add Review Site, it will give you the ability to select Google as the review site that you want to add. I actually haven't done this on the demo instance before, so I don't know if it'll be the exact way, but let's just say, for example, I wanted to get the review link for a doctor near me. So let me see here. I think this is a doctor that's nearby. So let's say, for example, Dr. Peter Kim is the doctor that I want to get my review link for. All I did is I searched for their name on Google, And what will happen is you'll know it's a Google review link because you'll see the Google map above it, and you'll see their actual, like it's kind of built into the Google search results. Whereas, for example, like health grades, it looks like a separate link. For a Google review site, it'll look something like this. And all you have to do is just click on this particular provider, and then you want to click on reviews. And when you actually go down here to reviews, you'll see a button that says write a review. When you click on this, this is the link that you want to copy in your URL. So all I'll do is I'll copy this URL. I would come back to my RepuGen dashboard. And when I clicked on add review site, it's showing me I can go ahead and select which social media account or which review site I want to select. I would click on Google, and then I would just paste my Google review URL where I basically got the URL from this section, and then I would paste it here. You'll see there's also the option to generate the review link. So you could just start typing your business name here, and you could also get it that way. If you are trying to look for your business name and it's not showing up, you could absolutely do it the way where I just showed you, where you just Google yourself, get that review link, and then post it in this section here. And just so everyone's aware, these review links, this is actually what's used to route those patients to the review sites where you're, asking them to leave a review. So this is how you would connect those different review links with your account. So hopefully that answers your question. But again, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us, and you can email info@repugen.com, and we'd be happy to help more.
Amazing. We do have a few more. So do we have to register to be on health grades?
Great question. So all these different review sites have a few different ways that they'll actually set up profiles for you. So some review sites like Google, for example, would even automatically create a review profile for you if you have a business listed in the US. So what happens is these review sites might already have profiles created for you, but essentially you have to go then and claim them. So it's possible you could already have a profile listed on health grades, for example, and then you would have to go and claim that profile so that you have ownership of it, and you can then, respond to reviews and ensure that reviews that are coming in, you kind of have the control of soliciting those reviews. So if health grades or any other review site didn't already create a review profile for you, you can go and create a profile yourself. We do recommend getting listed on all of the different review sites, especially the healthcare ones like, Health Grades, RateMDs, Vitals. Those ones are really, really great to get listed on. So if you don't already have it existing, if the review site didn't set it up for you, I do recommend going and getting registered. And every review site has a different process, but you're able to kind of navigate there and see those steps depending on the review site itself.
Okay, amazing. Now, I think this one might be for Claire. Is the partnership part of our Kalix account fee, or does it have an additional fee for service? And I think we actually missed some slides.
Yes.
Maybe we can bring those slides.
So I will share my screen now to answer that question. So sorry. Okay. So it is. Sorry, I'll just share my screen. So it is available. It is an add-on to any Kalix subscription, and it's something that can be added at any time and removed at any time. Yeah, you can add it to your Kalix subscription at any time. If you decide not to use RepuGen at any time, you can just cancel it. And I'll show you where you do that in a moment. It does have two packages. RepuGen have been, as you can see, RepuGen has so many features. It's a platform in itself. So RepuGen have been very kind to us and are giving us a very big discount. So it is charged through Kalix for everyone to get that discount, which is a little bit different to our other integrations. But yeah, you sign up in Kalix. Here's the pricing here. You can cancel at any time. So you can see all the features listed here, and Lauren talked about these, so I won't go over them in a lot of detail because we still have lots of questions. But as she discussed, there's the core, and then there's the marketing, and a lot of the marketing features people are very excited with because Kalix doesn't have the mass marketing functionality. So RepuGen was a really good way of us being able to offer all of those functionalities. So I will just quickly go over the special offer, then I'll show Kalix, just because we're getting some questions about it and some people do need to hop off. Paid Kalix subscribers, which I think are most people in this, do need to contact Kalix support to claim this offer. The reason for that is just because we don't, once you have a paid account, we don't support discount codes. We do have a coupon code or discount code for people that don't have a paid subscription, so this can be added when you sign up to a Kalix account, but we are offering 20% off RepuGen, any of those two plans for 6 months. So just reach out to Kalix support before you sign up so that we can enter this code against your account, and then you will get it. Okay, so what I will do now, I'll just swap over to using Kalix just for a little second. The main thing is obviously the RepuGen platform. Sorry, I'll just share my screen again. Okay. So the main trigger once RepuGen is considered a set and forget type system, obviously you want to be going into the platform to check things regularly, but it's designed that you set it up and then forget about it. We have, once you set it up, we do have different places in Kalix you can easily access RepuGen. So oops, yeah, I haven't actually set it up. I unlinked it just to demonstrate it. So I'll just actually quickly go through the workflow, then I'll show you those features. So RepuGen is set up once you have a paid account, and it's under your practice name and account settings and integrations. And then there's a button that says subscribe. The next step is you choose your package. So the two different options that RepuGen offers, and then you can choose. We haven't discussed this in a lot of detail, but there's two different options around the subscription. So you can break down RepuGen and have basically a different RepuGen subscription for different locations if you're wanting to see how different locations do, etc. But you have to keep in mind each location is a separate RepuGen subscription, so you are paid charge per location. So we do have this option of selecting all locations, and that will result in only one RepuGen subscription. The next is individual clinician reviews. So if you're just wanting to collect reviews for your practice on a whole, you don't need, again, to fill this out. You can just keep it as it is and then click pay, and it's going to be one subscription. Otherwise, what you can do is you can go in and break it down and have different locations and different providers at each locations. They do equal different subscriptions, but it is then a way of you being able to compare different providers, etc., if you're wanting to evaluate how individuals are doing, etc. So I'll just change it back, and then we will subscribe. So it does charge pro rata for the rest of your billing period. So it will then line up with your Kalix subscription. So you do need to it will charge right away, etc. But yeah, it will be pro rata for until your next billing period, and then it will line up with your billing period with Kalix, etc. So if you're on a month-to-month subscription, it will line up with your month subscription. And then if you're on a yearly subscription, it will obviously be as part of your next year subscription, etc., when you get charged again and you pay for the remainder of the year. Okay, there's a button to continue to RepuGen to set up, but you actually don't need to. It's all set up from here. You can see here there's a View RepuGen button, so that will take you to RepuGen at any time. There's an unsubscribe button, so you can unsubscribe it at any time. If people are on yearly subscriptions and they decide not to use RepuGen for any reason, just and there's time left, just contact support and we can manually sort that out for you. But yeah, once it's set up, that is basically it. And as I said, once you set it up, there's a button to go to RepuGen anytime, and also from the side panel as well. And the trigger for appointments and clients to go into Kalix is just the appointment being status changed to attended, because obviously you don't want it to be sent out to clients that aren't attended. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you so much, Claire.
No problem.
I think we are done with the questions. So thank you for going into detail. Thank you, Lauren. And thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. We are really excited for you to take advantage.
I just have one question for Lauren, real quick, if that's okay. Lauren, can you talk? It was I did get people to send out their questions beforehand, and there was a particular question about birthday e-cards. Can you just talk about that a little bit, if that's okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I might have even missed that. So thank you for bringing that to my
problem.
attention. I'm happy to go through that. So basically, one of the other features that, again, I forgot to go over, sorry about that, everyone, is our birthday e-cards. So essentially, the birthday and even holiday e-cards are automated messages that can go out to patients if we're receiving their birthday. So for example, if you do decide to opt for the marketing add-on, this would be one of the features that is included in it. What you're able to do in the settings here is actually set up what you want these birthday messages to look like. So you can pick from a number of different birthday themes. You can customize the actual message, and automatically it will say, hello, patient, may your birthday be filled, or whatever message you want to include. And they'll automatically go out when the patient's birthday comes along. In a similar manner, we have holiday e-cards as well, where if you opt for this feature and you enable the features, what you're able to do is also set up a number of different holiday e-cards. So let's say, for example, you want to wish your patients a Happy New Year or a Happy Veterans Day, a Merry Christmas, etc. You can come in here, customize what you want the actual email e-card to look like. And when this holiday comes along, if this feature is enabled, it will automatically send out these, happy birthdays or holiday wishes to your patients. And it's just really another great tool to stay engaged with your patients and, show them that you're hoping that they're having a happy new year, for example, or a happy birthday.
Awesome. So there's a question from Tracy about additional holiday greeting cards besides what's on the list. I'm assuming that you would probably do that just using an email blast. Is that correct, Lauren?
Yes. So if you did want to send out any other ones that aren't included in the kind of created templates, you would be able to create your own and kind of customize whatever holiday message you want to send out with that broadcast messenger.
Awesome. Okay, so we have had questions from a couple of people around the like sending out the reviews related to specific appointments. So Can you answer that question? I know that it is related to you have a duration, etc., contact duration, but can you explain that better, Lauren?
Yeah, absolutely. So I see the question. So basically, like the ability to send out surveys after specific appointment types. So what actually happens with RepuGen, like Claire mentioned, once you mark a patient as attended, a RepuGen survey will automatically go out depending on your scheduler settings, depending on the day and time that you have those surveys go out. However, to ensure that your patients are not getting bombarded with, constant surveys if they're being seen or they're visiting with you multiple times a week or multiple times a month, we have what's called a contact interval. So within your scheduler settings over here in the settings section, you can set up this contact interval. And essentially what it does is it allows you to pick the amount of time that you would like to go by before the same patient is being surveyed again. So let's say, for example, I have the contact interval set for 3 months. What will happen is a patient, the first time they're being seen within that 3-month time period, and they're marked as attended, what happens is they'll be sent the RepuGen survey after their visit. If they're being seen weekly, they won't receive another survey until at least 3 months passes. Once 3 months passes, the next time they visit you and are marked as attended, that's when they would be receiving a follow-up survey. So you can determine what you want your contact interval to be depending on your preferences, but that feature is really built to ensure that patients aren't being bombarded when they're having multiple visits within a specific time range.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think we've got most of them. I think Jill wants to have a quick screenshot. You can get that on the pricing page, but if you want to, is that easy for you guys to move it so we can do a quick screenshot?
Yes, I'll stop sharing.
Okay, let's see.
And in the meantime, there's another question. Can we set the interval by number of appointments, not time related? Maybe they only have 6 visits a year and are not coming in for 3 months. We want the survey to go out after the 3rd visit, no matter the time range. Is that possible?
Unfortunately, so the settings with the current integration are set up depending on the time interval. So if they have 6 visits a year, they would receive that first survey. If you have no contact interval set, they would be, receiving a survey every time they have a visit. But it's not currently available to go depending on how many visits. It's related directly to the timing.
Okay, thank you so much for answering that, Lauren.
And one more question, Lauren. It's related to sending it out to the survey or the this patient satisfaction survey out to a previous patient. So from the Kalix point of view, Kalix only sends through appointments that have happened, that have been the status has been changed to attended. But you would send out if you do want past clients, you can export your client list up to out of Kalix and upload it to RepuGen. Isn't that correct, Lauren?
Yes, you're exactly right, Claire. And you can do that. So you could export that historical list of patient data. It would just need to be in a CSV file format. And you would just come over to this patient section. You could upload the patients here, and then you would just upload your CSV file. And that would allow for those surveys to go out to the historical patients. So you can kind of hit the ground running and get more of those reviews from historical patients in addition to the regularly occurring patients.
Awesome.
All right, I think we are done,
definitely.
right? Without, so the messaging is included in the subscription, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. And one more, if the client list is pulled from Kalix, will it include those closed and or recently archived?
Awesome question. So you choose that when you export the client list out. Yeah, I'll just bring it up again. Sorry, I'll share my screen. yeah, so this is the client list. When you click export, you can export by different parameters. So there's a switch that says show only active, so that will only do active clients. If you turn the switch off, it will do the archived. And then you can also, what your filters you have open, you can filter by different factors. So if you do want to filter by last appointment date, it does, with the last appointment date, the appointment does need to be the status needs to be changed for attended. So if you're not seeing it, that would be the reason why. But last appointment date, that's sort of a way of like filtering out, the best way we suggest filtering out specific clients like that haven't been seen too long ago. But awesome question.
Amazing. And also, Jill is asking if we can show what a text message survey looks like when the client receives it.
I'd be happy to show that. Let me go ahead and share my screen. One second. Okay, so when you are in your RepuGen instance, you'll be able to come to the settings section. And if you click on communication preferences, you'll be able to see your text and email settings. So this is actually where you can come to adjust the actual verbiage in the after visit messages. But basically the default text message would say something like, thank you for visiting, click the link to rate your experience, and then with either the doctor or practice name, depending on how you set up your account. Once the patient actually clicks on the link, it will look exactly the same as the email, where it asks them to rate their experience and drives them to either the, leave a review or their internal feedback box if they had a negative experience. The only difference is it would show up on their phone. So it is, adjusted to be mobile friendly, but the actual process and verbiage would be exactly the same as that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, great. Amazing question, guys. So we are really excited about this integration. So maybe if you go over it, you have more questions, and just reach out. Thank you, Claire and Lauren, for today. And how long is the free trial?
Okay, so yes, there isn't a free trial of RepuGen. Sorry about that. There's a free trial of Kalix. But obviously, Jill, you're a current customer. But if you can cancel anytime, if you find that you're not happy with RepuGen, contact us and we can discuss something. But yeah, just to be clear, there isn't a free trial for RepuGen. It's for Kalix, etc.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. Okay, but you have the coupon code, which we shared before.
Yes, you do.
What is the coupon code again, just in case anyone missed it?
Okay, so the coupon code is just for people that don't have paid Kalix subscriptions yet, and it's try RepuGen, all one word, but I'll send it out. Everyone else just needs to contact Kalix support to get it. And please contact us before you enable RepuGen, just so that you do get the discount when you actually turn RepuGen on, because as we went over, it does charge you right away the gap or pro rata between now and your next Kalix payment, etc.
All right. Thank you, Claire. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And thank you to Lauren for jumping on with your presentation. And we can't wait for you to give it a go.